Hi and welcome. I'm Cher, the Shadow Walker, and I would like to do some readings for people today. And I've put my email address up there for people, and I've also had people email me on my other address. So those are people that know me that have come to me before. So I'd like to start with Sarah, and Sarah asks, am I going to move this year? And yes, you are, Sarah. And it will be in March. And I have one from Jack, and Jack wants to know what's wrong with him. It's a strange question, but you mean health wise, Jack? I'm assuming you mean health wise. You never know. The I try to lighten things up. It's a digestive with you. You have you're having a reaction to coffee, actually. It's not uncommon. A lot of people have a reaction to coffee. Um, Take it out of your diet, see how you do for a while. Let me know, because in my opinion, that's what it is. And if you go to the doctor and you've eliminated that while you're waiting for your appointment, at least you'll know by the time you get there. So, and that's what I would do. I have Julie, and Julie wants me just to tell her what's happening. Your grandmother, Margaret's with you. And this is a year of big changes for you, a year of a wedding, a year of a baby, and a big move. It's a big year of changes for you. So, but it's going to turn out good. So, no worries there. Now I've got Jason. Is that Jason? No, that's Matt. And and Matt, the minute I say your name, I'm looking at your feet. It seems to me that you're having trouble with them. You've got a lot of pain. That's a bone spur. You have a bone spur. So you can go get some help for that. Don't worry. You can get rid of it. I've had one. You can get rid of them. And I've got Beth. And Beth asked me about her mom. Beth, your mom's not here anymore. And her name was Suzanne, actually. She comes through with Suzanne. She's she's telling me to put it away. To just put it away. So there's something that you keep looking at all the time, rehashing, and you need to let it be. It's not going to change what happened. Okay. She says, put it away. That makes sense to you. If you have other questions, just email me back. You know my email. And next, I've got a question from Mark. It is possible. Perhaps you should have your land cleared first. Mark asked me about his house. I'd like you to get your land cleared. And if you need, you're located, where are you located? Oh, okay. All right, you're located here. Yes. You can email me back at the same email that you emailed me at and make an appointment, and we'll set up a time, and I'll come out and I'll check it out for you, the house and the property. That's not a problem. You're here in Alberta. That's easy. He's been having some spirit issues in the house, and he's kind of debating on whether to sell his house or see if they can get rid of what's there. Understood. We'll keep it on the down low. I know you don't want people to know about that. And I've got a question from Malia. You're going to find your big brother, Malia, within the next 2 years. He's your half brother. I just say your brother. And between you and him and your siblings, everything will go well, and his siblings. But because you share the same father, he will never get along with him. So there may be some conflict there, but that as a whole, you can work it out separately. And Crystal asks me if she's going to find a new man. I always say this to people that come in and ask me this: did you lose the one that you had? Are you going to find a new man? Not now. In about 7 months' time. And you're going to be in the grocery store and you're going to bump into him, literally. And that's how it'll start. So for now, just work on yourself. Be happy. If you've lost a man and you don't want him back, and I'm sorry, I was just kidding with you, just pass that in a different way. Just let it go by. I have a question from Ainsley. Ooh, that's from my favorite show. I love that name. Ainsley, it's a dream that you keep having. It's reoccurring all the time. Okay. Yeah. You see, you have the ability to see things and deal with them in a different way than other people. What you're seeing is actually a premonitional dream. Okay. So I want you to write it down if you can, as best as you can, and then just date and time it and leave it. And that dream, if it keeps reoccurring, mark the dates and the times that it reoccurs on you. And then once you know that, you should go through a period of, say, about 4 or 5 days where you don't have that dream anymore. And then you'll know that dream's going to happen. That's when the premonition comes. It usually comes, and then there's a time lapse of at least 4 or 5 days, and then that will occur. So I know what her dream was about, but it was too long and detailed to put on here. But yes, that will occur. So if that helps you any, good. And Shirley, your finances, Shirley, you don't even have to ask me. It's your finances. You need to sell that business. You need to get out of that. You've got your head in, you're in too deep. And it's not making enough money. So you can go talk to somebody about that, like a financial advisor or somebody. But yeah, the best thing for you would be to sell that business. So that was the question you asked me, was your finances. And I'm just telling you, it goes all the way around business. I have one from Renata, and Renata wants to know how long she will live. Now, I tell people, I'll tell them the good and the bad if they want to know, and she definitely does. So I'm getting the number 76, so that's your year. I don't know how old you are now, but in my opinion, that's the year for you that you will pass on. And I've got Dorothy. And Dorothy, yes, I get it. You lost your sweater. That's a really odd one. I haven't done a sweater, done jewelry. Um, it's in a lost and found box in a store that resells clothes. So you must have been in some store um, that sells used clothing, and you took it off, and that's where it is. So if that rings a bell to you, great. Um, Trish, why can't she find the right man? Well, a lot of people ask that question, and that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It just means that you don't want to settle. So this is your year for you to make changes in your life for yourself and not to worry about others. And within the next year and a half, so I'm going to say after this year passes, another year and a half after that, you will find somebody. And that is somebody it is worth waiting for. So, and I find you're down, like really depressed about that because you value yourself only with if you have a partner, a man. Value yourself for yourself first. Don't worry about that. That'll come second. It's like you need your foundation to be the best it can be to attract the absolute best. You don't want anything less. I can see that out of you, but stop judging yourself for not being able to find that perfect guy right now. Doesn't mean he's not out there, just means it's not your time right now. So, I mean, that would be better for you if you just waited a bit. Okay. And I mean, it will happen, but after this year, another year and a half. So within that, 2.5 years from now, yes, absolutely. For everything that you wrote down there. And that was quite the email. And I've got one from Ruth. And you want to know about your husband. Are the signs there that that's happening? Because that's the answer right there. You don't need a psychic for that. If you know that he's not coming home, that you have a feeling that he's cheating on you, then you need to sit down with him and address it. And perhaps in front of a counselor would be best. So yeah, that's what I get from that. And that's not unusual. So I have done readings before where I have I'm going to say stupidly. I'm The lady sat down and she was barely in her chair because that's what usually happens. And I just gave her the initials. And turns out it was her husband and her sister's initials, and they were having an affair. So that to me, sometimes these things happen. But now I just do it in a different fashion than the way that I've been doing it because I don't want to offend people. And Willow, I see something wrong with your back. You have spinal issues, and you were born with them. You're starting to have trouble in your shoulders. So you need to go to the doctor and have that looked at because that is serious in your spine. Okay. It doesn't mean that they can't help you. It just means that you need to go and get it done now. And some things in your life will have to change. Certain jobs that you are doing, you're going to have to diversify because you can no longer do the heavy lifting or the heavy. I'm getting movement from you, heavy, almost like you're on a horse. So if you are on a horse and you're doing jumping, you need to stop doing it. You can teach, but Your spine, you need to have it checked out now. That's more important. Okay? And don't despair. There is help out there for you. And I'm not sure if I have this name right, but I got an email from somebody. It's Deju. And Deju, there's an awful lot of conflict around you and your family, I feel. Um, Sorry, if you hear snoring in the background, it's one of my Newfoundlands. They're sleeping right now. Deju, if you could leave the area that you're living in right now, that building with those people, it seems like you're living in rather tight quarters with a lot of people, and there's a lot of control. And I understand that it's family control, right? What you can do is turn, you have to turn yourself around, like your life around, is what I'm getting. They are controlling you, they're owning you, and that's a very difficult situation to get out of. You can talk to people at a women's shelter anonymously to give you some help. And frankly, that would be the best thing for you. Safety first, okay? Go someplace and talk to somebody and don't use your home phone. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because email came through a different way. Okay, good enough. I know because I've got it right here on my phone. And Vienna, you're very creative. You're going to be an artist. You really are. You're going to paint and you're going to just soar. You just have an absolutely beautiful spirit. It's not to say that everybody that I've read here doesn't have a beautiful spirit, but she just has something about her that she sees the world in a beautiful fashion. And so if she's looking at a tree, she sees it totally different than we do, and she's going to paint it. And when you see it her way, the beauty that she can bring to something is amazing. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's what that's what you're going to be doing. That will be your career, definitely. And I've got Marg, and she's asking about her brother. I don't feel he's in the water, Marg. I feel he was buried on land. I, yeah, at least 5 miles from the area that you told me that he was. Marg is a lady that I've been in contact with several times, and her brother disappeared on a fishing trip, and they deemed it as he had fallen in the water. They found the boat, the canoe, but it wasn't capsized, and all his gear was in it. Okay. And he had a life jacket on. It wasn't in the boat. They didn't find any water in the boat. So there wasn't any splashing from the canoe tipping. And it wasn't in a big body of water. Like, she sent me a picture of this pond. I just feel that there was some people involved in that. And we've discussed a bit of that off, so I don't want to bring that all on screen. But I do feel more the woods. Honestly, I can see the woods. There will be a group of trees near you he'll be found, where there are 3 trees, and they are It's one tree actually, but it looks like three. So it's got like one trunk that divides out into three big trees. It's very unusual, but that's where you need to go. It's in that woods. You're in the right area. And you can text me anytime or call me. You've got my number. Who else do we have? Andrew. It's funny, Andrew. I see you as about, say, 40-ish. Okay. But what I do see, I get things around you like a diaper. I get things around you like a rattle. And then I get things around you like your mother. So you have a dependency on your mother to clear up all your messes. You need to learn to stand up and to um, take care of yourself for a change. Take care of your wife as opposed to running home to mom all the time. That's where the conflict comes from. It's because your dependence every time you do something and you use poor judgment, it's because you know mom's always going to clean it up for you and you're 40. You've got to change that. Okay, that's just what I see around you. Um, Dave. Dave, you asked me about your work. And when I get the image of you, I get that you've got really big feet. And I see your feet just going forward, and you seem to walk heel down hard. Shouldn't do that though. But you're really pressing your heel down hard and then your foot down. So you're going forward, okay? But you need to loosen up a bit because, yes, you're going to get promoted. But I find that don't be rude with people on your journey to the top. It's the best way to say it because you may need some of those people, or they may be at the top in different industries and you're going to have to work side by side with them. So sometimes you have a tendency just to be brash with people, and you need to tone that down. Success is there for you. I get the number 17 around you, so 17 months from now. It's a journey. You're right. It is a journey. That's a long one. Tim. And Tim asks me about his health. Well, Tim, I would say you already know about your health. You have an issue with your pancreas, an issue with your kidneys, and an issue with your liver. When I get those three things together and they're floating in a fluid and it comes through clear, that tells me that you have an issue with alcohol. So you need to go see somebody about that. You need to deal with the things that are causing you to drink. And yeah, like it's one thing if somebody is an alcoholic and they want to quit drinking, they go and you need to get counseling and you need to go to a naturopath. A lot of people won't say that, but I've had a lot of alcoholics that I know, family wise and friend wise, and a lot of people that have healed and they crave sugar because alcohol is full of sugar. So when I say go to a naturopath to help you to get your imbalances right, and go to a therapist to talk to the therapist, because you got to figure out why you need the drink in the first place, right? Because you need that, you feel you need it, and or that you can't do things without it. So group like an AA, great. Private counseling, if you can do it, would be great for you. And a naturopath to help you to balance your body out while you're going through this transition. But I can tell you that I know a lot of people that come out the other side, and even though they thought they could never do it, they're doing fantastic. and their lives have changed for the better. So don't give up on yourself. Go and get the help. And I feel that you're ready because you wouldn't have asked me if you weren't. It's as simple as it is. I've had alcoholics come and sit down across from me and tell me their life is just a crap show, and that, why are all these people doing all these things to them? And literally, I will stop them in their tracks and start asking them personal questions about themselves, that, or telling them personal things about themselves that need to be fixed, so that they can understand that their drinking is creating these issues with other people. You seem to have, by the sounds of what you wrote down to me, which was quite detailed, by the way, that you want to change your life and you're afraid. And that's normal. And I see the fear, like I've seen it with a lot of people, and not just men. When it comes to alcoholism, they're afraid, am I going to lose everybody? And it's funny because I had a girlfriend, and she's sober now, geez, 6 years, 7 years. And she had to change all her friends. Like, she had to let go of all those people. But she's come out the other side. She's an amazing person. Just, and she always was. So, but sometimes there are people in your life that are bringing you down. If you like to drink and your buddy likes to drink, sometimes you have to let go of that buddy. It's just the way it is. So, yeah, you will lose some people in your life, but you're going to gain a lot of people, and you're going to gain personally. So, go and let me know. Let me know. I'm here. Wilma. I haven't heard that name in ages. I like that name. And Wilma's asking me about her father. You didn't know your biological dad. Is he still out there? Wilma, his tombstone is out there. I'm sorry to say. He is not. But you do have a brother and a sister out there. So you gave me an area that you were from, and it's a Union Cemetery there. And gave me the last name is absolutely the right name. And if you go back through the records, you're going to, and sometimes even through the obituaries, you're going to find the different relatives' names, because you have a sister and a brother. And I know right now you're an only child, and your mother told you that. I know that's hard. Okay. It happens a lot. Nobody really knows who the father is but the mother, to be honest with you. Sometimes the mother doesn't even know. It can happen. People look at you like you're strange, but no, that can happen. So it did happen, and yes. And can you have DNA test done that way? Absolutely. But you have a brother and a sister out there, Wilma. And I've got one from Lynn. It's about your dog. You have dreams about your dog. Your dog passed away and comes around. Yeah. You're right. That is your dog that you hear in the hall playing. Comes around often, runs up and down that hallway in the house. It's just the dog. Um, the dog's still worried about you. You seem to have been really close. And I know you said that you were thinking about getting another one. I'd wait. I'd wait 6 months first. You're still healing. You need to heal. Pets, they're part of the family. It's just like losing a child. So, yes, you need to heal. And once you heal, then it's the right time. It doesn't mean you can't start looking at different breeds. And I've said this to many people before. If you're going to Look for an animal that suits your lifestyle. You don't want a hyperactive animal if you can't handle that and you're not out running like a husky. It requires somebody to be with it, run. It needs exercise, a lot of exercise. There's a lot of different dogs out there that are quiet, older dogs. You don't have to get a puppy. That is a curve. I mean, your dog was around, I'm getting old. So, and small. So it was something that suited you. Sorry, allergies. Um, and you might want to pick something different because you might compare it all the time too. So just take that to heart, but take a good 6 months before you do that because you certainly need that. Um, it's getting warm in here. I have my pellet stove on. So. And Tamara, you just said help. And I get nervous around you. You have you have bipolar. Go and sit down and talk to your doctor. Your doctor can help you. Tell your doctor all that you've told me because that's something that you need the doctor to help you with. Seriously. And once you get on the right path with the doctor, you'll be fine. You really will. Because right now you just feel like the walls are closing in on you and that you just, yeah, I get it. That's why okay. So you just go to the doctor, see the doctor, and then, if you want to let me know how you're doing because it's difficult to go through something like that. And I've got one here from Tina, and Tina asks me about her children. And I get hellions from you. So they must be very active and running around. So that's good. That's a good thing from children. If they're getting into trouble and they are like little kids, because she's told me the ages of them. So they're 8, 7, and 3. That's a very active age. They're exploring and they're learning. The middle one is the one that you have to watch for lung issues. She's more susceptible. She must have had COVID a couple of times, right? Because I'm getting scarring. So, yeah, she's the one that you have to watch. So, I mean, the house, like, make sure if you've got a furnace that you've got furnace filters or a HEPA filter in there, if you can get one, or, that you have your air quality is the best. And if you live like I do, I live in Alberta, if they tell you that there's an air quality advisory that day, she needs a mask. It's as simple as it is. She's already got issues. But as far as intelligence, don't even worry about them. They're doing great. There's no need for worry. Okay. And Gregory. Gregory, if there's a wedding, I see rainbows around you. So your partner and you're going to have a really good life. There's some illness there somebody has that will be diagnosed. Could be your partner. So any signs or symptoms, he needs to go and get looked at right away. But as far as you, I just feel nothing but happiness. So that's a good thing. A really good thing. Do you have another question? Just, my email. And Cliff's asking me if I think you should change jobs. I'm just looking at your job right now, Cliff. not personally looking at your job, but sensing it from you. I find there's a lot of tension and stress where you're working in that office. Um, and that's why you're looking, but you like where you are, you like the career that you've got going. You could talk to a career counselor to change, but I really feel that if you stick with it, it's going to get better. There's a lot of toxic people, but there is a change coming to that within the next 4 weeks in that business. I'm getting bought and sold, so that must have already occurred. It's going to happen again. But you know that the business that you're in, that occurs a lot. It's good. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. A year and a half from now to 2 years from now, if you want to change careers, you're going to have a lot more under your belt, and you will be able to command the salary that you deserve. That's the best way to put it for you. And Belinda's asking me about her grandchildren. They're gone. Sorry. That's what I get. I see they're not with us. Yeah, it's pretty hard to move on right now, but they are gone. And if you have other questions about that, you can contact me and I will give you the other answers off air. Um, and I've got Heather. Heather, you keep going back looking for love, your first love. And I feel that was an older man. You need to focus more on yourself and going forward. It's like what happened in the past. If you go back and you want to relive that past, that's exactly what's going to happen. He hasn't changed at all. So that's totally up to you. And I've got Courtney. And Courtney, what's up with your toes? Like I'm getting your toes in this a lot, Courtney. You're wiggling them. You're having issues with them. Courtney, your toes are, they're crooked. This is the best way to say it. I'm sorry. I'm looking at her feet. I get images just with a name, just with a hello from somebody. And the image I get of her is her feet are crooked. Courtney, you need to go to a podiatrist and have them looked at because you've been having trouble now for what? Almost 2 years, you said to me. So, yeah, you need to go get some help for those. They're getting pretty crooked. I think that you probably weren't wearing a great shoe when you were a child. So, it could cause issues. Now, I have a question here from Tom, and he wants to know about his hair. It's not going to grow back, Tom. It's falling out. It's as simple as it is. You want to know if you should shave it all off. It's up to you. If you find that sparse little pieces of hair on your head are making you uncomfortable and you'd rather just be 100% bald, then you do that. It's whatever makes you happy. It's not for one person to say over another. That's a personal choice. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading a message. Okay, there we go. And it is from Elsa. And Elsa wants to know about her health. And Elsa, I find that there is an issue in your family. So, yeah, I think that you need to go get checked because it's there. You could end up with, you want to get checked for breast cancer. That's what I'm getting. That's why I paused for a minute. I didn't want to. It seems to run in your family. Your aunt had it. Yeah, definitely. I'm finding there are issues, but I'm finding they're more in your back. So you must be a large busted woman. If you've had your test done and it shows nothing, then you're finding that you're having all that trouble, then you need to go talk to them. Perhaps you need a reduction instead of feeling like you've got breast cancer all the time. Because I know that could really mess with your head. So, um, to look at your spine to see if it's causing issues. So go and talk, and even a kinesiologist or a physiotherapist. I like kinesiologists because they teach you your movements, or an osteopathy. They teach you your how to move properly to get that movement right, looking at specifically you. So maybe go talk to one of them and get an appointment and get some help for it. And but I don't see breast cancer. I see it more as an issue that it's going to have to be reduced, not removed. Okay. If that helps you. I think that weighs on your mind quite a bit. And I have Lydia. And Lydia said that she wants to know if the guy that she's living with is going to. This isn't his first relationship. He's had numerous ones. You are what, number 3 or 4 in the line? That's what I'm getting. You're down the line because what I see is a rope. Like when I'm looking at it, it's kind of like a string, but whatever. And you're like, I'm getting you're in your 50s. This guy's not going to change. This is who this guy is. You're seeing things that the other women see. So, yeah, like whether you want to see if, I'm not even going to say to you, go to counseling with him. Go to counseling for yourself first so that you can make better decisions about, you know, your finances, your living arrangement. You're seeing things that his wife seen, that his wives seen. I was going to say exes. That's probably the best way to put it. Um, he's not going to change. He's very controlling and very egotistical. So I wish I could give you better news than that. And we love who we love. So whether you want to put up with that or you can live with that, you really think you need to live with that. So maybe sit down with somebody so that you can start realizing the value in you and then make your decisions from that. Because there's a lot of unhappiness and a lot of tears, meaning you crying a lot. So it would be best for you to go and talk to somebody about that. And I have Rio. I love that name. Rio. Well, that's your nickname. You go by Rio, but you're Jim. Okay, Rio. And Rio, or Jim, I'll go by Rio. He's asking me about, is it safe for him to live in the States? Um, Rio, I get, no, it's not your lifestyle. You you're gay, and obviously you know that. I know that you said there, is it safe to live in the States? If you are living with somebody in the States, like a boyfriend or something, you should consider leaving and going someplace else. It's going to get worse before it gets better down there. I find it's a lot of civil unrest in the States, and it's not stopping. It's a continuous thing. It's daily. It's happening every day. It's going on all night. It's changing to people are fighting back. And I'd hate to see somebody as nice as you get caught in that crossfire. So you didn't say where you were originally from. So um, I suggest that you do move. If you have a boyfriend that you're living with, I keep getting a combination of two. So I hope that helps you. And Karen wants to know if he should stay with his wife. I get that question when people come in to me a lot, Karen. And when you're asking that question, you're already unhappy. It'd be great if you went and sat down and talked to a counselor, figured out what the unhappiness is in you. I feel like you don't just want one woman. So, you know, to be fair to your wife, it would probably be best not to stay with her. But it would be best for you if you went and got counseling first so that you could do it amicably. And I've got Ken. And Ken says to me that he feels like he's in trouble. And you want to know about your mother. I find there's something around your mother's death a little peculiar, to say the very least. I get the feeling that she died of diabetic complications, but I feel like she had too much insulin given to her, whether she did that herself or somebody did that. I don't know if that was looked at. And the walls closing in on you. Um, yeah, people are going to find out about you and what you've done. Not to your mother, you didn't do that, but what you've done in life. It's best to own up to those things and to start over. Being honest would be the best thing for you. But your mom passed with a bit of a struggle, and she's there. And she's showing me she's dancing. So yeah, she's doing this. So she's feeling much better. Let's just put it that way. So if that helps you any, good. And I have Gail. Um, Gail asked me about her husband. I feel that he comes around you and that he seems to nudge on the bed, like push on the bed. And you must notice those disturbances in the bedroom, things being moved a bit. That is him. I find he's really heavy in the bedroom, his presence. You must have his ashes under your bed or on a shelf, but it's close by. It must be the bedstand down low that you have his ashes. You need to um, you need to find a place to put his ashes, is the best way to put it. You need to let his spirit soar. I know it's hard. You feel like you need to keep a piece of him with you, but you have that in you. It's in your soul, that piece. Our body, our ashes, that's all they are. They're just fragmented pieces of us that are left. But the memories are still whole in your heart and in your mind. Hold the memories and release his ashes. He needs to be released. That's why he's doing that. I mean, if you want him around all the time, you want to feel uncomfortable in your room like you are, then, you know, he's not happy. So that's what you have to look at. You have to let go for him, even though you want him with you all the time. And I suggest you go to grief counseling as a group. You would do well in a group because I get in a very outspoken person that you are. So you will do well in a group setting, honestly. You're going to meet a couple of people in there, a couple of women, and that's a good thing. And I've got one here from Bill. And Bill misplaced some papers, and he's asking me if I can find them for him. You put them in the wrong folder. So you're going to have to go through all the folders that you have, but you will find them. It's going to take you a little bit, but you're going to find them. They're right there. It's just for some reason you were busy that day and they just got shuffled into the wrong pile. So if you need them right now, you're going to have to start looking through those folders. So I'm not really sure if that's a great help for you, but yes, the work you've got cut out for you is I'm going to say 2 to 3 days before you find them. Because I just see endless folders. So either you're doing business from home. So and I have one from Ben. And Ben is asking if I don't even know how to put that. I can tell you, Ben, I would say no. I don't want to say it on the air. I don't know what you're allowed to say that way on the air. Don't think it would. I think something would happen if I said that. So I'm going to tell you no. Not healthy and no. That's as simple as that is. And I've got Rena. And Rena says that she feels trapped. And you've carried that all the way through for at least 20 years now. It's time for you to let go of it, Rena. Really. You've been forced to take care of people. You've been put in a position where you're the caretaker for everyone. She's caring for, I get, It's either a sister or a brother that you're caring for, and your parents. You're in your 40s. There are respites that you can take people to so that you can get some help. And I suggest you talk to the doctor and get a social worker for your brother. It must be your brother. I'm getting brother for your brother. And your parents, you're going to have to get some aid for because you can't do all that lifting yourself. I know you mentioned a bit about that to me before about lifting. And your brother, a social worker, so get him on the right path and eventually into a group home, someplace where he can thrive and it's just too much for you. He's older and yeah, you you're too stressed by all of this. You can't give great care if there's not enough of you to go around. And looking after two ailing parents and a brother that has challenges, needs that need to be met, you can't do that all. You just, nobody can. So, yeah, there are people out there that can help you. And don't feel guilty. Don't. And visiting people and them getting quality care and you going in happy and joyful and giving them a positive visit instead of being worn out all the time is going to be beneficial for them and you. So that's something that you really need to stop feeling guilty about and just go talk to the doctor and get him a social worker and it will be better. It really will. It'll help you a lot. Hard to manage. I get that. I totally get that. And I got one from Colton, and Colton wants to know if I can really tell anything about him. So here we go, Colton. You have a heavy body mass in the abdomen area. Okay. You are overweight and you're just in your 30s. Your whole lifestyle needs to change. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to go to somebody, but you are an emotional eater. So, even before you go to anybody to see, like to sit down with somebody, you might want to consider before you put something in your mouth why you're putting it in there, right? And the type of foods that you're putting in there. If you want to eat and eat and eat all the time and you're not satisfied and you continue to eat bad things, there's a reason for that. It's an emotional issue that's happening to you. Um, so you can go talk to somebody and start little things yourself. Like, I keep getting your feet coming through and your knees. So you used to like to dance. So start doing things you used to do, just little bits at a time, and get the counseling that you need and the doctor. Because together, the combination of a therapist and a doctor are really going to help you. And then um, somebody who can help you to exercise properly. If you don't want to go exercise in public, I know a lot of men don't. Um, my husband and I do Tai Chi at home. So that's one thing right there. There's a walking Tai Chi. I've started doing that. I do the dancing. I like to dance. So I do dancing. So there are different websites that you can go to dance, or you can go out and just dance. So anything to get yourself moving, to burn calories, to burn fat would be a great idea. Reducing the carbohydrates, um, in my opinion, works. but I'm not a medical professional. That's why I'm shipping you over that way. But that's what's wrong, and that's what you need to do. And that'll make a big difference on you. And let me see here. Who else have I got? Aaron. And Aaron, I'm getting this all the time from you. And that was your dad was always pushing down his watch, and he's around you all the time. He really is. He's with you. And you must have had quite the relationship because he just beams with pride around you. And I feel the loss in you still. And a lot of people feel that when somebody passes over, they just, you feel lost. And that's normal. Most people will feel it for a year. With a parent, you feel kind of like you're an orphan. A child, I can't imagine. I just couldn't imagine that. But this is a parent, so don't make any decisions for the first year because you're still in that, right? And just be kind to yourself and go to a group counseling and talk about it, like a grief counseling session. It's okay to talk. I mean, when you go to one of those and there's other people there that are going through grief, they're talking about their loved ones. And so rather than sit there and talk to other people in the daytime who don't want to hear anything about your dad, you can sit there and talk to them and they're going to listen and they're going to hear you and they're going to hear your loss. And so you'll slowly start to heal. But take it easy on yourself because for the first year, it isn't easy. I've lost both my parents. I've lost 3 parents. And it takes time. It does. Even though I know where they are and I can communicate with the dead, it still takes time. It doesn't mean my parents are popping in like a telephone call every day. They're not. My mom comes around. My dad has come around a few times. My one dad. My other dad, I really wouldn't know if he came around or not. I've kind of blocked him out of my vision, basically. So you had a wonderful relationship. That's a true gift, and you've got that in your heart. And so when you walk out the door every day, that gift is going with you out that door. So you're not alone. And when you go to talk to other people, you'll find that there's a lot of people just like you that are lost and missing their parents. So it'll help. It really will. Give it a chance. And I've got one from Travis who wants to know if he should move his family. No, not for the job. I don't think the money's there. It's as simple as it is. And I've got Zach. And Zach is asking me about his brother. And your brother passed several years ago in a car crash, Zach, right? Well, I feel there was drugs involved in that crash, that there was a substance abuse issue. So um, he does not come around. And that's not unusual. Some people, they pass on, hey, they're gone. And your brother was one of those people. If he cut you off as a friend, he cut you off. He moved on. Like he didn't dwell on things. So I feel when he passed on, he felt that he shouldn't dwell on anything and he's over. He's gone. So if you are looking for him to be around, he's not. So you've got an aunt, Giselle. Yeah, I think it's Giselle. She comes around. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Could have been Jocelyn, Giselle or Jocelyn. That's what I'm getting for the name. And she's always at your elbows. Okay, so you're gonna feel her around your elbows. Just I don't know what's happening with your elbows, buddy, but yeah. So, but your brother, he passed instantly. He didn't suffer. Um, I know he wasn't found for over 24 hours. So, yeah, car crashes sometimes that happens. Whether it was sleeping pills or, something to stay, he was just tired. He was tired at the wheel and he had something in his system and it just took hold. So, if that helps you any, like, he's fine. He is at peace. I feel your mother feels it the most, which is natural. Um, he's showing me something leather though. It's like small in leather, but that big. And he says, give it to her. So he wants you to give that to your mom. Something he had, something maybe you picked up and kept that was his, but that's what he wants you to give her. It'll give her comfort. And I have Brad. And I keep getting Bradley. I'm looking at your name and you've written Brad on your email. And you sound quite professional. And yet I'm getting Bradley. Bradley, Bradley. So that's your mother coming through. And she's always calling you Bradley. So she passed. And she must have been the main parent in the house because she was the disciplinary. And she would always point at you and she would do this. She went, Bradley, Bradley. So that's that stress that you feel, that pressure is your mother wanting to push you into a certain. She feels that you're going off track with what you're doing. She's showing me partying too much, drinking too much, and she keeps steering me towards the church. So I never steer anybody towards the church. Take it as you will. What I do see with you is you can hear her at times, and that's stressing you out. That's, putting a lot of stress and pressure on you, feeling that. Sell the house, sell it. It's a good time for you to sell it. In the area that you're in, it should turn over quick. Um, and then take some time for yourself just to relax. Your mother was very conditioned to religion. She had been conditioned from a child, and she had conditioned you in the same fashion, and you broke free from that. And so she's upset, basically, that you aren't towing the line, is what her analogy of it is. And I feel that for you, it would be best that you break free from that, like you were trying to do, and do what you want to do, whatever it is that makes you happy, because that would be the best thing. Okay. And I'm going to take a few more. And I've got Kathy with a K in her lot, Kathy S with a K. And Kathy asks me if she will get well. You will. You will. You've been fighting this for like 4 years now. Are you ever going to be 100%? 99.9% is probably the best way to put it. You've gone through a lot and you're coming out the other side. So just, there's all kinds of, and you'll hear it's always darkest before the dawn. Well, you're going through that dark stage right now, okay? But when you come out the other side, it's going to be wonderful. So just keep pushing forward. You're doing wonderful. Um, and I've got Chelsea. And Chelsea wants to know if he does not regret. He's gone now, the father. Chelsea's is kind of a long message, but I'll try to dumb it down a little bit for people. Chelsea's asked me about the man who thought he was her father. And she only knew him as her dad. Her real dad, your real dad was an older man. Your mom had an affair. Your mom had tried to pass you off, and your dad that raised you took it out on you. Not physically, but emotionally. And so he didn't want anything to do with you. That's just what I get from you. I get that brokenheartedness, like that was your dad. You know, hun, I can't tell you not to dwell on it. I can't tell you not to feel the hurt that you're feeling. I can tell you that how you are feeling is right, normal. You did nothing wrong. You were just born. These are things that were beyond your control. And it would be best for you if you just let go. Really. I mean, it's a hard thing. I can't tell you to do it. Like, as far as like, I am telling you to do it, but you know what I mean? Like, I can't force you to do it. But, and go to talk to somebody, because, you know, you've been carrying this for years and you're in your mid 30s at least. I'm getting 30s. So, not your fault, honey. Not your fault at all. And the circumstances that happened, I am so sorry. So, so sorry. You know, that's just unfair. And I've got Mary asking me if she's going to find true love. Well, Mary, I don't know. Most of them that I've taken her off of my, they'd emailed me in, and I took those people first. So I didn't really have the chat on. Mary, you're looking for love because you're in love with being in love. Try not to look for love, okay? Let love find you. So just go out there and live your life and be happy first. And then you will find your partner. She's going to come along. I get 16 around you, 16 months from now. But so start volunteering at things you like to volunteer with, or sports that you like to do, or go to the gym, whatever it is where you meet people. I get you with dogs, walking dogs. So yeah, could do that with mine right now, but yeah, like just do whatever it is and just stay on that path and stop looking for love and let love find you. If you feel that you need something sometimes, or you feel like you're needy of it, it has a tendency to kind of deflect away from you. So the best thing that you could do for yourself is to work on you. I tell people that all the time. And, but I find when you're volunteering, this is where it's going to come into play. You're either doing a sports where you're coaching. Yeah. Volleyball. You're coaching volleyball. I hope that helps you. And I am going to take two more questions. And I have one from Ruth. Do your parents ever come around? They do. And they're very proud of you. And they like what you've done with your life. So, yeah. And I have one, we'll take one from a guy that I have over here. And I've got Jordan. I do believe that there will be research done. Jordan's asking me about autism. I believe that they are close to finding out answers for autism. Um, I think autistic children are incredibly intelligent, that they don't speak in the same frequency and they don't receive in the same frequency that we speak in. So things get jumbled, and there's going to be some advancements done in that are going to make it easier to communicate and to understand where autism is coming from. Will happen over the next 3.5 years. So the fact that you have a child that's autistic and that you are concerned for their well-being in the future, I understand that. I've done special needs with autistic children, and I understand, that that's a 24/7 job. So I get it. Yeah. But there are going to be advancements made in that. Sorry, my lips are getting really dry. I'm going to take one more because I have a reading coming in I'm going to be doing for somebody, so I'll have to get off. And it's from, I'll take Teresa. And Teresa wants to know if her house is haunted. No, it's not. I get either squirrels or coons. You either have raccoons or squirrels in there. I'm hoping it's not rats, but I'm saying raccoons or squirrels in the attic. I'm getting you this way. So this way would be BC. So I'm thinking it could possibly be gray rats too. So yeah, I would have an exterminator come and check out the house. The wiring needs to be looked at. I don't find any presence there, of a ghost or of anything evil. I just find an infestation, and it's a natural infestation, not a evil infestation. Okay, so no, it's not a ghost. I wish it was. I really do. Sorry, I don't say that very often, but if you're going to be dealing with a rodent, I'd rather have a ghost than a rodent. There's a lot of cleaning up and there's a lot of damage done. If they're chewing wires in an attic or they're, you know, making nests up there, that's a lot of cleanup. So, yeah, a spirit, that's a lot easier. That's something I can handle. A rodent, well, I mean, you have to handle it, but yeah, I'd get an exterminator in for that for sure. So, and I have a question here from Kimberly, and she's worried. She's living in the United States, and she's worried about war. You know, I think about it daily. I do. I have, you can't escape the issues that are going on down there. But I feel like more civil unrest than anything that's going to occur. So I get civil war in the States where there'll be an uprising and people are going to take it back. You're most of the people that are alive right now, and I'm in my 60s, we have lived in peace for most of our lives. Most people, not everybody. Some people come from war torn countries. But from those of us who have been raised in a country where there has been nothing but peace, it does cause issue when you see the stuff that's going on. And most people don't hate every race of people or every person's sexual orientation. But I feel like the people running the United States do. And they want to make the states just white. Okay. So who's safe? Nobody. Okay. Nobody's safe. In my opinion, what's going on down there is mad. And I feel that the people will be triumphant in removing the government, in taking those people out of power. And in my opinion, it's long overdue. I find that the leader will pass of a brain aneurysm. Um, Suddenly, daytime. And I know they're going to tout it as a conspiracy, but it's not. It's just something that will happen. And, but the people will march, the people will fight, and the people will take their country back because Americans can be very boisterous and, but they love their country and for the most part, they love their communities that they live in, and they're very passionate. So I feel like if you can see that, you're going to realize where your country is going. It's going to get better. It's not. It's going to get worse, and then it's going to get better. But it's going to be civil unrest first. There are movements in that country right now of people that realize what's going on is looking like when Hitler was alive, and they're going to stamp it out. And so you're either part of that movement or you're not. It's not the safest place to live. I certainly would not want to visit there. Um, and that's sad because geographically, there's a border right there. It's like you're right there beside us. Could it spill out into Canada? It absolutely could. It absolutely could. I know there's communism groups everywhere, racist groups everywhere. And I guess as people in a whole, we just didn't take it seriously. We just, we're busy earning money, we're working for a living, we're looking after our children and our pets, and we've got a lifestyle. And this is what we know as people. And you come in and try to take that away, and you watch that person fight. So there's where the civil starts. The civil unrest in the States is because people are losing things and they are going to fight like hell to get it back. And good on them. Proud of you. I'm with the American people 100%, and I make no qualms about that. I think that communism has no place in North America. It has no place. Racism, to the extremist that we see right now in the United States and in some parts of Canada, has no place in the world. It has absolutely no place. I think there should be, once in the States it's cleared up, and it will, it's going to take 34, 34 months, but there's going to be an all in all battle with people fighting. I'd like to see Canada put some laws in place to stop the political idiots that are there, that are running certain provinces, like the one that I'm in Alberta. I think that it's, in my opinion, is wrong to have anybody that has communist mentality. And I think we should take that as being a traitor to a country. So that's just what I see, and that is in my opinion. So I think I want to end on a lighter note. So I'm going to look over here and see if I've got a question from somebody else, because I got them all written down here on paper. It kind of helps. Mark wants to know, Mark, you've got tight calves. He's talking about leg pain. You have tight calf. Your hamstring muscles are really tight. You need proper stretching for that. So go and talk to somebody about that, because a kinesiologist can look at your movements and help you with that and alleviate that. You don't have something wrong with your bones, it's your legs. It's just the hamstrings. So, yeah, that will work. And so tomorrow I'm going to do another live doing the same thing. So if anybody wants to either email me on the email that I believe I put it on the screen, or those of you who come to me for readings who know me, email me on a separate one. That's fine as well. That's my private one. Those are people that I know. And I've been reading off the list there of people that have actually, some of them I don't know. They've got me from word of mouth. But yeah, nonetheless, you can reach me at either email. And I'm happy to help. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. I hope everybody stays safe, stays positive, be kind out there to each other, watch your back, right? Be kind, but watch your back. And I just like to say to the people of the United States that I'm glad that you're fighting back. And I'd like to say to the people of Greenland that we in Canada stand with you. And a free country is a better place to live. A true democracy, kindness, love should always prevail, and it doesn't always prevail unless we push forward to make it prevail. So the people down in the States, I want to say Minnesota, that are, I think it's Minnesota or it's Minneapolis, one or the other, that are in the streets. Just stay safe. Don't lose any more lives. But I understand that civil war is inevitable down there. Unfortunately, you've got a lot of people in power that shouldn't be. And that's been going on for ages. Over the years, we've seen the twists and turns of things, and there is a change coming. I don't like the words New World Order. I don't believe in stuff like that. What I do believe in is the people will take back what's rightfully theirs. So, and to those people, I say thank you. So with that, I'd like to say, if you would like, tomorrow I will be on again, and I will be on at 1. So if anybody has any questions there, feel free to pop into the chat or email me on my email or on my other email, those of you who know me. And have a positive day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and goodbye.